Duke It Out Blue Devil Football Talk is brought to you by our great sponsors. We're live each Monday night at Walk-On Sports Bistreaux, located at the Avenue West Cobb, where Blue Devil fans can get 10% off dine-in meals. Thanks to our show sponsors, Marietta Toyota and Cauthorn, Owen, and Sanders. We appreciate Wellstar Pediatric Orthopedics and Dr. Albert Pendleton for their support of our student athletes. Wingz on Wheelz sponsors our Wow Fan of the Week and keeps our crew fed on Friday nights. Shanty hooks us up with our new Blue Devil News shirts. Support these partners who support Blue Devil football. Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Duke It Out, Blue Devil Football Talk with Coach Cameron Duke. I'm your host, Ted Mayer. Thank you for joining us today. We're in the studios of Good Morning Marietta at BlueDevilNews.com. Normally, we would be at Walk-On Sports Bistreaux, located at the Avenues in West Cobb, but on Tuesday, they have a band playing, live music, so they were unable to make room for us. We were pushed back a day due to the Labor Day holiday. But let's get started. We have a home game, Coach. Finally, 3 on the road. Finally get a home game with McEachern, a big rivalry game, as you will have heard since you've been in town. So we're happy to have you here for that. McEachern had rolled over their opponents earlier in the season. So you knew this was going to be a tough battle no matter how it struck up.
No doubt. They were coming in as a top 50 team in the country. One of the highest ranked teams in the state of Georgia. So we knew we had our work cut out for us, but we were excited to be at home. And boy, what an environment, Ted. It was special to be at home against McEachern and have Northcutt rocking.
It was rocking, that's for sure. From beginning to end, and that coming onto the field, going through the banner, you had the sparklers and the smoke going up. That had to be really exciting for you and the players.
Yeah, I was excited. I was really excited for our seniors and our entire team and of course, our coaches that have worked so hard. But to be, I think, in the best venue in the state of Georgia, if not the Southeast, at home at Northcutt Stadium was special. So thank you for everyone that came out and made it such an awesome environment. And again, just a first-class place to play football on Friday nights.
And it was an awesome environment, that's for sure. Okay, let's get started on the highlights. McEachern wins the coin toss. They defer, so you're going to get the ball first. And you have a great run back. Unfortunately, it's called back by a penalty, which happens from time to time, but that's okay. You started 1st and 10 on the 15-yard line.
Yeah, we got the ball. We had a great return. They did call a hold that brought us back to the 15. We opened the game and we knew we were going to get single high press coverage. We thought we were, we did, so we wanted to take a shot. And we had a guy open, we just missed him about this close, Ted. And, but we knew we were going to have to win some one-on-one matchups, we believed, out wide for us to be able to get the job done. So we wanted to test that early to see if we could win. And again, we were just a little bit off.
That's okay. So you get 1st and 15, and I'm sorry, 1st and 10, and then you get to lose yardage on the second play, and unfortunately the third play.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna talk too much about it, but there was a deal with the defensive line that I thought it should have been a penalty. It wasn't a shift. It was a switching of hands that simulated the snap count, and our center snapped the ball, and our quarterback wasn't expecting it, and he's backed up in the end zone for a safety. Later on in the game, they did call that a penalty, Ted. So we were right about that not being allowed. And again, but that's part of the game. And unfortunate, we were put in a hole right away, 2-0 quickly with a safety. But man, I was so proud of how we responded.
Right.
There was no flinch in our guys. There was no worry, and we were able to continue to compete.
Right. And you kick off to a free kick from your own 20. And kick it off to McEachern, and on their first possession, they fumble the ball.
Yeah, well, and it was a call fumble by our defense. And our defense, boy, they were flying around now all night. And their number 6, who was the one that called, he's a great football player, really good, really talented young man, who called a little quick out route. And we rallied to the ball and got there, and we got there with bad intentions and caused the fumble, and that was incredible to see. And to be able to get a turnover early, down 2-0 was special.
Sure. And you go on with that possession, and you have about a 6-play drive, get a 45-yard field goal from Cole Baumgartner.
Yep, and there were some good things we did there. We'd like to capitalize there. That was one of the things all night we knew we needed. We were hoping to, especially after a turnover, to be able to get 6 out of it. But when you have a great kicker in Cole Baumgartner, you got to trust that. And to him, it was a 45-yarder. Is that what
yes, sir.
I mean, good night.
Right there on the 35. And 10 yards for the end zone.
So that's a big kick, and that took us into a 3-2 lead behind the big leg of Cole. And he's just been doing it all year. Has worked his butt off in the offseason. So honestly, I wasn't surprised. I don't think we were surprised, but that's a big kick in a pressure-packed moment to take the lead. So Cole Bumgarner, again, great young man, great family. Hats off to him for having such a great game.
Sure. Okay, so you kick off. Now you got the lead 3-2, which is good. That bodes well for Marietta, right? And the fans are starting to get into the game.
Right.
It's starting to be a little more boisterous on third down, which is what you want to do. You want to intimidate your opponent as best you can. Use the crowd to your advantage,
sure.
Right?
And I thought we did. We had home field advantage, and we're going to need that every game this year. But we sure as heck did have home field advantage. It was, again, like I said, it was rocking, and being able to have the lead there after Cole's kick was special. And, our crowd was in it from the beginning to the end.
Absolutely. McEachern gets the ball and does a 6-play drive. They wind up punting the ball and then sending it out to the Blue Devils. And you folks kind of get a couple of drop passes, a couple of maybe missed opportunities there. It was 1st and 10, then you got.
That's putting it nicely, Ted.
Yeah, 1st and 10. You got 3 yards on your second play from your second scrimmage or third scrimmage, and then it kind of backs up a little bit.
Yeah, our offense struggled at times. It'd be a good pass, and it could be it could be a drop, or maybe a receiver was open and we couldn't quite hit them, and we're a hair off still, and. We know we got a lot to work on. I have a lot to work on, and we were close on a lot of things. But you can't be close. You got to execute in big games like this against really high quality opponents that we played, especially McEachern. But there were some drops, and we are doing everything to try to continue to work on that and get better at that across the board.
And it's just a matter of timing. It'll be a matter of time before you get to it, and it'll click.
Yeah, and we got to get tougher. And we just got to get mentally and physically a little bit tougher on that side of the ball to finish drives, to execute, to make the tough catch, to make the big throw, to make the big block, to finish off drives. We've been preaching that, and that's something that we got to do. We've been able to look in the mirror and own it, but we have to get tougher offensively to go and execute against really high quality opponents like McEachern Indians.
Sure. Okay, and then McEachern gets the ball 2 plays later. They go and punch it into the end zone, 17 yards.
And they punched it in off a block
punt.
Right.
Yeah.
So we
deep in your zone.
Yeah. So we line and man, we haven't had one all year, and we've done a really good job. We take great pride in our special teams. Again, that's what we call our winning edge. And I promise you, last few days of practice, we've been working on that.
I'm sure you have.
And the young man that happened with, he owned it and knew what he had messed up on, and he didn't allow it to happen the rest of the night. But you cannot give up a block punt inside of your own, territory. Give them a short field with the offensive line and backs that they have. And our defense fought like crazy to hold them out, but a short field, you can't do that. So the block punt really hurt us. But if you would have told me, they were going to block a punt inside our own territory and score, and we turned the ball over late inside our own territory. If you would have told me all of that going in the game, I wouldn't have thought it was close. So it shows you how hard our guys played, no matter the circumstances that happened.
Okay, Coach, not so bad. 9-3. You're still well into the game. Your defense is playing good. Other than just that little block punt, you're playing a pretty darn good game and very competitive.
Yeah, and I thought our defense was playing really good. We were limiting what they were trying to do. We were able to stop the run, which they have been able to run on all their opponents the past few weeks, and we were flying around, and I could tell defensively we were really locked in. It was 9-3, and then Braylon Urquhart with a really nice return, and I thought he did some really good stuff in our return game. In fact, coming off the game, there were some things that say we need to make sure we find ways to have Braylon Urquhart touch the ball a little bit more, because he was maxing out every opportunity that he had, including on the returns.
Sure. And then that false start, defensive false start, finally was called.
Right.
And it netted you a first down.
Yep.
So you saw the referee, I believe, showing that you can't do that. And
we had told him that earlier.
That's what they were doing. But that finally got called for you, and it worked in your advantage.
Yep.
I know you're happy about that.
Yeah, and one of the things that you want to try to limit is pre-snap penalties. And we had a couple that hurt us, where you can't give yourself negative yards to start a drive or in the middle of a drive with a pre-snap penalty. And again, that's that mental toughness that we want to continue to try to improve on.
Yes, sir.
But for them to be able to, call it on them and us to get the first down, anytime you can move the chains and control the ball is really important, especially when your defense is playing like that.
Sure. And Jaden Whiteside has a couple of nice runs off from scrimmage, or quarterback keepers, up the middle, and did one around the right side. So
I thought he played with some more freedom. I thought he did some great stuff with his legs, and when things broke down, he used them to move the chains. And I thought he played more free. I know there were some things we'd like to have back, but he used his legs really well. And again, I thought, he looked more fluid and free back there against a really talented defense.
Now, was that something you were trying to do? Was that part of your game plan, to let him have a little bit more freedom to take off if nothing was open?
If things weren't there and he didn't like the decision that that was made in the passing game, that he could use his legs. He's got a great skill set and can extend plays and can move the chains, and we wanted him to be able to play with that freedom, and I thought he did that better on Friday than he had in the past few games.
Sure, and you get a quick pass to Anderson, and he gets a first down for you, which is key. You're moving the ball and moving the ball downfield.
I thought, we had a couple corner routes that we were able to connect on that were chain movers for us and caught the ball pretty good. Samaj did at times, and so we saw some good things. And again, when sustaining drives is critical. Let your defense continue to rest and catch their breath, especially when they're playing at a high level. And you want to win the time of possession if you can. Yes,
sir. Okay, second quarter begins, and a couple of plays in, McEachern throws an interception. Max Turner's right there.
Yep, number 20, starting safety Max Turner, man, had a great game and played lights out. Again, another senior for us on the defense side of the ball, had a big interception right there on our sideline. I can't talk enough about Max Turner. As a football player, as a young man, his mom and dad are great people. He was at a chance to spend a lot of time this summer with him and even down on our service trip in Ecuador. And just, he's what you want a Blue Devil to be. He's an incredible student. I think he has like a 4.5 GPA. Wow. And he's a great football player. And for him to come up with a big interception there, again, something that he does in practice, he's very coachable. And that was a big turnover for us and a chance to give us some momentum right there in the second quarter.
All right, so Max Turner intercepts the ball, and Blue Devils get the ball on offense.
Yep.
And you go right to work.
Yeah, we were able to put some stuff together there and put a drive together, and then we got to, I think it was a 27-yard field goal attempt that we were going to kick, and on fourth down, and we got a roughing call. They gave us a first down.
Which was huge. It moved you even closer to the end zone.
No doubt, and so we were able to continue
to the 5-yard line.
Sustain the drive, and then we finished off on a third and goal conversion on a pass play from Jaden Whiteside to Isaac Copeland.
Absolutely.
In our corner of the end zone right there, and that was big because that was going to, that tied the game, and the extra point gave us the lead. So to take a turnover that was caused by Max Turner on our defense and then turn it into 7 points was really big, and a little bit of momentum for us there in the second quarter.
Absolutely. And he was wide open in the end zone. He somehow got away from the corner of the safety.
We had a little
went
rub.
Up and out, right?
Yeah, we had a little rub concept. Us offensive coaches call it rub routes. A defensive coach calls it pick plays, but they're rub routes. And I thought our quarterback did a good job of continuing to buy time and had some touch on his pass to Isaac, who kind of turned a little out route into a wheel route, and he was open. But quarterback did a great job getting the ball and getting us in the end zone there.
And the fans were going crazy because, after the extra point, you get the lead on McEachern, and that's really what Marietta fans want to see.
Yeah, that's what we all want to see.
Absolutely.
And, to make the PAT was big, and to make it a 10-9 game there in the second quarter, again, after being down 2-0 really early was a major turning point for us there in the second quarter.
Absolutely. But then you kick off to McEachern, and you have a couple of really nice defensive plays, led by Jude Morris. There was broke up a pass, almost an interception, if you remember that.
It was right there, in front of me.
It was.
I think his left hand got out there, and he tipped it, and it was a great play, great break on him. I know Jude, and great player, incredible young man. And he was, he was thinking pick six in his mind. He made a great play, and to get a hand on there and to knock it down was great. So he's, he plays our nickel, and boy, is he a special player. And he's an incredible leader, and he's just a junior.
Yeah, you got him one more year. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You're going to have to use him wisely, right?
No doubt.
Put him on the field wisely. Okay, then they wind up stalling, and once again you get the ball back. Approaching halftime now.
Right.
So you drive about 6-8 plays, and unfortunately just kind of fizzles out. The offense has to punt again, and
right
back to McEachern.
Thank God we got a good punter. Davis Parrott did a really good job for us punting away, because every time we punted now, it made us nervous, because number 6 was back there. Now he had 3 touchdowns against Walton in special teams, and very talented. I mean, for us to limit him in the return game was big. So McEachern's defense really talented. We were wishing and hoping we could have done some more in sustaining and finishing drives, but chewing up the clock and being able to flip the field was something we knew was going to be important. We were able to do that thanks to Davis Parrott's leg multiple times, and really good coverage units on our punt coverage team.
Gotcha. And you wind up kicking it off, punting back to McEachern, and they just kind of, first and 10 at the 12, they stop.
They just
sat on it and then went into halftime. They knew they were going to get the ball to begin the second half. So it's all good. So they go into halftime, and the Blue Devils are up 10-9.
Yep.
What's your message?
My message was one play at a time. Here we go, second half. Everybody knows that this is, we're not only in this game, we feel that we're the better football team at that moment for the half. But there was nothing more to do than to focus on one play at a time and go and max out that play. Give everything you got for that play, understand your job, your responsibility, your alignment, your assignment, and go and sell out one play at a time. And do that because you love the guy next to you. Do that because you have great Marietta Blue Devil pride. And that was our message as we made a few adjustments on both sides of the ball.
Sure. All right, you wind up kicking to McEachern, touchback, so it goes in the end zone.
That's a weapon, isn't it?
It's very powerful, that's for sure.
Yep.
That limits your special team, the opponent's special team ability, like you were mentioning with McEachern. They had 3 touchdowns on special teams, just punt returns.
Right.
If you can kick it in the end zone or really keep it away from them sidelines,
yep,
that's another defender on the field.
Davis Parrott's got an incredible leg and has worked so hard, and it's a great weapon, and we're proud that he's a Blue Devil, and to put it in the end zone on our kickoff team is special. Make him drive 80 to start the
Absolutely.
Second half.
So then you have Montoya. He makes a nice tackle for up the middle, kept the play from extending.
Right.
So, and he does real well there, and you get up to 4th down.
Our defensive line played well.
They did play well.
I mean, they played hard, and that's a big, talented offensive line we saw. And for them to do, and there were times we were asking them to do stuff. It wasn't about them making a play. It was about them selling out and doing their job and letting other guys make plays at times. And I'm just very proud of our entire defensive team, unit, coaches. D-line did a great job.
Sure.
And Montoya, who I'm really proud of, for that big stop there.
Absolutely. And it seemed like McEachern's offensive line was a little bit like Gainesville's offensive line. Really big, tall, wide bodies.
Big bodies.
Yeah.
Some big old boys up there, and talented, and talented running back, and big group. But our guys didn't flinch, and they didn't back down, and our defensive staff did a great job game planning and preparing our guys, and our defense executed, I thought, well all night and fought all night, and that's all you can ask for.
And later on in the drive, Merrick Ham gets a key sack for a replay.
Yep.
For a loss on the play, a quarterback sack. And so
he's he affects the game in so many ways, and when you can affect the passer, especially on 3rd down, or when you kind of know it's going to be a passing situation. I mean, he's extremely long. He's athletic. He's tough. Him coming off the edge is a force, and anytime you can get TFLs, tackles for loss, or sacks, I mean those are usually drive killers, and he's done that a bunch so far in the early part of our season.
That was the drive killer. They had to punt after
right.
that. It was a loss of 3 on the play. He came from the far side,
right,
all the way behind the line of scrimmage to make that tackle.
And one of those.
And it was a shoestring tackle.
Shoestring against a talented athletic quarterback. And what you're looking for and what you're so proud of as a coach are great effort plays. When guys are selling out to give great effort, and they're doing it because they have genuine care and love for their teammates and their school and their community, and he's one of those guys. I mean, he's going to sell out, and him to have that effort type play, that's what you're looking for, and that's what we're looking for across the board in all 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams. Those incredible effort, tough plays that you got to make.
Right. Okay, so you end the 3rd quarter, nobody scores. It was a good defensive battle back and forth, both sides. So you start the 4th quarter now, and Donovan Gober makes a wonderful fumble recovery.
Yeah.
Just a fantastic. That was their drive killer.
Yes, it was.
Because they looked like they had a little momentum on their side, and and Donovan comes in and really knocks it down.
I mean, and we asked him, we moved him around a little bit on the defense side from linebacker to what we call our will linebacker, and we asked him to do some different stuff this week, and he did. And he did it with incredible energy and execution. Again, another senior man who is Marietta through and through. He's got a great mom who I got a chance to spend some time with this summer, Z Gober, who's an incredible lady. His father played at Marietta as well. And I mean, the Gober family is such a special family here in Marietta, and Don has really done an incredible job from our standpoint, not just as a football player, but as a leader. I can count on him to get our guys going, and for him to have a big game and make that play was special, and I was so excited for him.
And then 6 plays later, you get the ball. 6 plays later, again, Cole Baumgartner comes through, right through the uprights as usual. It's almost automatic right now.
Yeah, again, to take a 4-point lead. Now I will tell you,
35-yard field goal.
Yeah, 35-yard field goal. You know, a lot of people know he doesn't kick off a tee. You know, he kicks off the ground, and you can use a tee in high school and college. You can't, but he's a collegiate kicker. There's no doubt in my mind. And to him to kick those field goals in a pressure-packed situation is really special. We'd like to have gotten 7 there, but you got to take points when they're there. We had a false start that got us back a little bit, and we did a couple things that shot ourselves in the foot, I thought, offensively. But to get points off a turnover was critical, and I thought Cole, again, in the execution of our PAT field goal team was really good. Great snap, great hold, great kick. And yet Cole Baumgartner, man, he's been pretty clutch for us so far this season.
Absolutely. Makes it 13-9.
Right.
Marietta looks like they're in good shape.
Right.
So far, so good. Starting the fourth quarter, McEachern gets the ball after the field goal, and of course, once again, Davis Parrott, automatic touchback. So they start at the 20, and then Donovan Gober makes another tackle at the 15-yard.
He was all over the field, wasn't
he? He was everywhere, he certainly. And very happy for him. And, of course, then there was a little bit of defense, offense. McEachern had some positives, and then Marietta stopped them. So you had a couple of back and forths, and then McEachern winds up punting the ball.
Right.
And unfortunately downed at the 5-yard line. We weren't able to field it cleanly, and the ball rolled probably 20, 25 yards.
You know, and that's one of those things that you just, you're like, we had for the most part, it was one other time that we didn't field the punt. But we pride ourselves on fielding punts, and we didn't field that one, and it's nobody's fault. There was some miscommunication that took place, and again, it's nobody's fault. You got to field those there so that thing doesn't bounce. So I think it bounced about at the 20 and went back to the 5. Yes. If we go up there and fair catch it. But again, there was some miscommunication. It's not our player's fault. And we had one of our punt returners who rolled his ankle who wasn't in there. So you really would like to field that punt. That was a great learning experience for us to say, hey, look, this is why we want to do that, so that doesn't bounce back into getting on the 5-yard line that late in the game. But it is one of those situations, again, that happened, and we had to start the drive on our own 5.
Sure. A little behind the curtain question. Which would you prefer, to let a punt go if you can't field it cleanly, or try to field it and maybe risk a fumble?
It's a great question. So, if you can't get to it, in the universal word that everybody uses means to get away from the ball is Peter.
Okay.
Not sure why, Ted. No idea why. But if you ask anybody in football, that's the word used to let everybody know that do not touch the ball. It's out of reach for the returners, and to get away so it doesn't hit one of our players and become a live ball. Ultimately, you want to get to the ball and field it, but you never want to get to the ball and try to dive and make a spectacular catch. You want to judge it and be able to get underneath it and catch it. And if you feel like the defense is bearing down on you, just to fair catch it, get it right there so the drive can start so it doesn't bounce and roll back. And those are what we call hidden yards that are never on the stat line. But that was one of those things. So that was 15 hidden yards at least that when it hit and bounced back. And at some point when the ball was kicked, not sure how, but Peter was called. Nobody's fault. So I think our returners heard Peter and decided to get away, when I think, in fact, they probably had the opportunity to go up there and at least fair catch it. But again, so nobody's fault, some miscommunication on that end. But yeah, you never want to try to sell out to catch a ball, but you do want to try to hustle and get underneath it and catch it if you can, and then you can fair catch it so those what I call hidden yards don't happen in a game. So ultimately, it did hit and bounce, and we had to start our drive
on the 5-yard line, and unfortunately, Jaden Whiteside fumbled the ball, and McEachern recovered. and quickly within the next play they punch it into the end zone.
Yeah,
It was a very short field.
Yeah, tiny
unfair to defense. You can't really blame anybody
Nope.
for that.
Nope. You talk about they got a touchdown on a block after a block punt, and they give a touchdown. Our defense gave a touchdown after, fumble. And again, that our quarterback was trying to,
and both were very short fields. I mean, they didn't have to work for anything.
Very short fields. And Jaden was trying to get get every yard he could and get down. And what a lot of people don't know and is the guy that actually made the play should have been blocked and wasn't. And again, I don't think the player that was supposed to be blocking him meant to miss him, but no one will see that in the stands. But it was a safe play. It was a direct snap. We're trying to get out of there.
Right.
We had hit it earlier in the game for a big, about 12-yard gain.
Right.
We were trying to get a first down, and unfortunately, as he was, working to try to get an extra yard or two, the ball's punched out. Again, there was a lot of plays that could have been made before that to not put us in that situation as well. And we went over that as an offensive unit. So Jaden handled it well. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of his toughness, and understanding, this part of the deal, playing quarterback. And again, a great young man who I thought did some really good stuff on Friday night. And unfortunately, right there at the end, the ball got popped out.
Right. And it's, again, nobody's fault, like you just
Right.
said. It's just football, and that's the way it kind of bounces. McEachern punches it in, gets the lead, 16-13. You get the ball back, and then unfortunately, it's just kind of a couple little wheels fell off, or we got some flat tires.
We had a pretty decent return. We had a screen. We got us to midfield. I thought we had an opportunity on a little double post concept that I thought Jaden threw a great ball that would have put us field goal range. Right. Unfortunately, wasn't able to brought in. And then we had a miscommunication by a route that brought our safety over that allowed number 6 to make a play to catch it to have an interception here late in the game. Again, it was a deal where if somebody does actually the route, there was miscommunication, and he ran the wrong route and brought the safety over and was able to make a play on the ball. And one of those unfortunate deals, because if you connect on a couple of those, you're in field goal range and have a chance with Cole to tie the game,
Sure.
or hopefully go into overtime, or if you can continue to drive to finish it off. But we were able to do that there at the end, and McEachern was able to walk away with a 16-13 win. And hats off to them. I thought it was. What I was proud of too. I thought it was a rivalry game, but I thought there wasn't no nasty penalties. There weren't any nasty penalties. There weren't any fights. It was a hard-fought, physical game. Defenses played lights out. Tough sledding for both offenses. Could have gone either way. We thought we could have done a few different things and had the game won. And we talked about that. There was a bunch of plays that could have happened where the game would have been won. And we're still working and learning about that, and we're going to continue to grow and get better from that. And I think we're going to use this to continue to forge our leadership and lay the foundation that we want moving forward. But, man, what a hard-fought game in an incredible environment, and unfortunately, we weren't able to quite get it done.
Understood. And McEachern went into victory formation. They didn't try to run plays. You called timeouts in between to use up the rest of your timeouts.
Yeah, just in case, if they bobble.
You never know what
stats.
happens. Absolutely, Coach.
Right.
You want a little time on the clock. But it was a well-played game. It was a good sportsmanship game, that's for sure. For a rivalry game, you didn't have a lot of hostility and bad blood. So
no, and I have nothing but respect for Coach Reed over the head coach at McEachern, and Coach Shepard, the defensive coordinator, who I've known for 7 or 8 years. And hey, they got a good thing going, and they knew they were in a battle Friday.
You know it.
They knew that they probably escaped with one, Ted, but it was. I mean, I was proud that there wasn't anything. There was nobody getting ejected. There were no fights. Hard-fought, physical game by both teams. And that's a talent. Listen, that's a talented bunch we played. And for us to go toe-to-toe, we know we're close. We know we're getting better. So I was proud of our guys with that, and continuing to look at, okay, what can we do to improve and get better and find those inches that we need to get it done there late.
And certainly this will be a great learning experience and will serve you well down the road when we get into region play.
That's the hope.
For sure.
Yep.
Absolutely. Okay, well, that's a look at the McEachern game. We'll be right back after this message, and we'll take a look at our offensive, defensive, and special team players of the game.
Hey, Blue. What you doing? Oh, watching highlights from last week's live stream? That's awesome. Hey, everybody. Be sure to download the Blue Devil app on Google Play or on the App Store. Just search Marietta Blue Devils and you'll find our app. It's your one-stop shop, your ultimate resource for all things Marietta athletics. Live streams of all of our sporting events at home, rosters, schedules, ticket sales, Anything that you need is on the Blue Devil app. Download the Blue Devil app today on the App Store, Google Play, or using the QR code on the screen. Download it and be a true Blue Devil. Go Big Blue.
Welcome back to Duke It Out, Blue Devil Football Talk with Coach Cameron Duke. Okay, Coach, let's look at our offensive and defensive and special teams players of the week. So you got offensive player of the week is?
You know, this week we had to give it to our kicker, Cole Bumgarner. And I know he's a specialist, but he was responsible for 6 points and big-time field goals, and really more than that because he was 7 points with the PAT. And just somebody who was clutch. And I think there's no doubt that our offensive player of the week was our kicker, Cole Bumgarner, Sr.
Absolutely. Couldn't go wrong with that. And your defensive player of the week led the team in tackles this week.
Yeah, Don Gober, you know, and I'm looking at his stat line, and, you know, he had 8 tackles, 5 solos, and 3 assists, and 8 total tackles, 1 sack, 1 fumble recovery. I mean, that's a heck of a game. And, again, we moved him all around, and his willingness to serve and be selfless is what we want our Blue Devils to be about. In fact, you know, we look at 3 things: selflessness, toughness, and leadership. And Don Gober represents all 3 of those. And he had a big night, and our defense player of the week was Don Gober.
You play him on the defensive line and in linebacker?
Yeah, we play him at linebacker in our will position, which is off the edge, and we asked him to do a lot of different stuff in that position. He's got to come down and take on blocks from some big old boys, as you saw on Friday, and we want him to be able to spill stuff and make things bounce, and he did that. And you know, he's one of those guys, whatever you ask him to do, he's going to go do it. He loves Marietta, and his pride for our school and community goes deep. And he goes deep with his family as well. So I have nothing but love and respect for the Gober family, and, of course, Donovan and his leadership for us as a player.
Glad he's on our side, that's
Amen
for sure.
to that.
Okay, and special teams player, Mr. Touchback himself.
Right, Davis Parrott, who's also our punter, and I thought he did some really good stuff all night in a punting game, and then, of course, the touchbacks. And he was clutch, you know, and you know, that one block punt really wasn't him. It was a different situation that took place, but he punted the ball well, putting it in the end zone. And again, we're fortunate to have great specialists, and another young man who's a senior, who's awesome and just a great young man and student, and his talent at punter and kicker is special. So yeah, our special teams player of the week, senior Davis Parrott.
And I've had the thrill of calling his name since middle grades of football, so he's been fantastic.
And when you see him, you don't
6th grade, you really don't think of him as a football player or a kicker.
Well, he looks like a daggum linebacker.
Yes,
you know, and that's where I think a lot of his power comes. And, you know, those touchbacks, because he's built like a linebacker.
You could put him on the field.
I
The
thought
decoy,
about it.
maybe. Okay, gotcha. All right, so there's your offensive, defensive, and special teams player of the week. We'll be right back after this message.
You don't have to face tough legal challenges alone. At Cauthorn, Owen, and Sanders, we're Atlanta's caring lawyers, fighting relentlessly for your family, your future, your rights. Whether it's divorce and family law, estate planning, personal injury, or education and employment matters, our experienced team puts you first. Recognized for our community service and backed by decades of legal excellence. Contact Cauthorn, Owen, and Sanders today for a confidential consultation.
Welcome back to Duke It Out. All right, Coach, Hillgrove on the horizon this Friday.
Yep.
They're a big team, a little bit like McEachern.
Yep.
Got some powerful running backs, got some good wide receivers, and a big defense.
Yeah, talented team. You know, they're 2-0. Last I saw, they were top 10 in the state in 6A, and right down the road. But we get a chance to host them at Northcutt, which we're excited about. But yeah, another opportunity against a really talented group. You know, that we're gonna have to go and play really good football to try to do everything we can to get a win.
Absolutely. And I know they're going to bring their big game because this is kind of a rivalry game for them as well. Both the schools border each other.
Yep. Yeah, they do. And, you know, they were 11-2 last year. And Coach Deshaun over there, man, he's a really good guy. He's got a great program. You can tell from the film from last year's success. They're well coached. And, yeah, we're going to have to play good football, and we're preparing like crazy to do that.
And we need everybody to show up at Northcutt Stadium and cheer on the Blue Devils.
Yeah, let's get that place rocking. Again, I think it's the best. We're so fortunate to play, I think, in the best venue in our state. And when we have everybody there, man, it's special. So we want to get that thing rocking and rolling just like we did this past Friday when Hillgrove comes into town.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we'll look for you at Northcutt, but we'll be right back after this message.
When you have more time being a person than a patient, it means more relationships, adventures, and traditions. Across Georgia, Wellstar is helping people enjoy more of what they love by providing more care where they want it, with over 400 medical locations and 24/7 access online and over the phone. Because care that's wherever you are means more respect for who you are. At Wellstar, it's more than healthcare, it's people care.
Welcome back to Duke It Out. And now let's take a look at our Student Athletic Training Aid of the Week, sponsored by Wellstar Pediatric, Orthopedics, and Sports Medicine, and Dr. Albert Pendleton. Now let's go to Charlotte Common.
Hi, I'm Charlotte, back with the Student Athletic Training Aid of the Week, Jackie Oriana. So Jackie, how long have you been a part of Sports Med?
3 years.
3 years, okay,
Yeah.
Amazing. What is your favorite part about Sports Med?
Learning more about sports med and also making friends. Like, this is the program for you.
Yes, okay. What is the biggest lesson you think you've learned from Sports Med? What has it taught you?
Time management, definitely. Like, doing all the stuff and before practice starts and everything. So,
Do you usually feel pressed for time? Like, is it a stressful environment? How do you work through that?
not really. It's just time management with like homework after practice and also learning how to do stuff quickly, like filling out the ice troughs and also doing the water bottles.
Okay, so yeah, definitely you need to find that balance between Sports Med and schoolwork. Are you an IB student?
Yeah, IBCP.
Okay, so you've got a lot of schoolwork to balance all your responsibilities for Sports Med with. That must be a lot. Yeah. But, how do you handle the pressure? Who helps you through that? What do you kind of do to, relax and get out of that?
So what we can do is trade shifts if you're really out of time and you don't have like space in your schedule, or you could also get covered by your teammate. That's the good thing about making friends, guys.
Good. So it sounds like you guys are a tight team and you work well together. Yeah. Where do you see yourself in the future? Do you see yourself doing anything related to this?
Medical field, definitely. I want to be a nurse and then get my BSN. Yeah.
If you could give one piece of advice to someone coming into the program, what would that advice be?
Enjoy your time here. It really goes by really fast, but you get to learn a lot from it, so. Yeah.
Thank you, Charlotte. Greatly appreciate it. Okay, we'll be right back to wrap up the show right after this message.
In Cobb County, baseball is everything. It's a warm summer day with your family at the ballpark. It's bonding with the community by coaching the neighborhood kids. The long road trips to oh so many tournaments. And it's a place where future legends are inspired by the all-time greats. We've always supported the baseball community with dependable vehicles that ensure you are safe at home. Marietta Toyota, we've been here. We're going to be here for you.
Welcome back to Duke It Out. Now let's take a look at our Wings on Wheels Fan of the Week, and it's Jackson Borders. And Jackson played the theme right. It was country and western theme for the student section, and he's in the middle wearing the white with the Blue Devil emblem on his chest. And he really led the student section, and boy, were they loud and proud and thankfully helping out our Blue Devils. Remember, Wings on Wheels, located behind the racetrack on Whitlock. Be sure to visit them. Best hamburger you'll ever find on Whitlock, that's for sure. All right, Coach, let's wrap up the show. You have Hillgrove coming up. Things look really good. The team is not down and out. They're not giving up. They're really fighting hard every play.
Yeah, and we're gonna need the stadium to be packed again. Jackson, congratulations, good job. We're gonna need you and all your buddies out there again this Friday in our community, is where you got a really talented Hillgrove team coming in. We've had a great week of practice. The guys know we were close. In fact, we let somebody off the hook Friday, and we don't want to do that again. So we're practicing, preparing to go play good football. We're excited about the opportunity to play another really quality opponent, and we're going to need a strong showing at Northcutt, and we're going to come out there. I know our guys are going to play hard. They're going to play together. We're just trying to continue to find little ways to get better each day, and we hope to be able to do that this Friday at Northcutt versus the Hillgrove Hawks. So
I know the team will be ready, that's for sure.
Yep, and I appreciate you, Ted.
No, thank you, Coach.
For everything that you do, and here we are in the Good Morning Marietta studio. If you haven't seen this show, make sure you watch it. Our students here at Marietta do such an incredible job, led by Mr. Dempsey and everything that he does with the production. So we're excited about this Friday. We're looking forward to being home, and going to go do everything we can to find a win, Ted.
Absolutely, Coach. And don't forget, you want to show up early, be in your seats by 7 o'clock. It'll be the Marietta Youth Football League recognition. Right. So the MYFL and Harold Spann, who kind of leads that, charge for the MYFL. He really does a fantastic job getting the young kids involved and getting them the activities.
I am so grateful for Harold Spann and his leadership in the Marietta Youth Football League, the MYFL, and all of our coaches, our K1, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade teams. Those are the future of our Blue Devil football program. Roger Stewart as well is another one who helps so much with our MYFL. We have great leadership down there. But yes, Harold Spann is somebody that I admire for his service and commitment to our community and to our Marietta Youth Football League, and it being Youth Appreciation Football Night. Please get out there and support our current young Blue Devils and future high school football Blue Devils.
These are the future varsity players that will be playing on Northcutt.
Come on now. That's right.
Absolutely. And we'd like to thank Mark Woolard, our statistician and producer of the show. He's been helpful with highlights and stats and plays and recognition of things. Coach, really key asset for you.
Oh my goodness. Mark Woolard is somebody that I admire and respects and does so much for our program and community. You know, he hadn't missed a game since '97. Hadn't missed a Marietta Blue Devil game since '97, and his stats and what he's able to provide for us, myself, so grateful. I appreciate Mark Woolard, his leadership in our community, his family's leadership in our community. You know, his wife led our IB program here for a long time at Marietta High School, and somebody that I just have the utmost respect for. And, you know, if anyone bleeds blue, it's Mark Woolard.
Except on game day, he's a Tennessee Vol.
That's true.
Then it's orange, but it's okay. We love him for it anyway.
No doubt.
So it's all good. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching our show. Greatly appreciate it. Make sure you show up early at Northcutt Stadium so you can recognize the future of Marietta football, the Marietta Youth Football League. And that celebration and recognition will happen right at 7 o'clock. So come out to Northcutt, wear your blue, and be loud and be proud. On behalf of everyone at Marietta High School and Marietta Athletics, and the faculty and students of BlueDevilNews.com. And for those you see and those you don't, on behalf of Coach Cameron Duke, I'm Ted Mayer. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Go Big Blue!